I mean, they're trying right now to cancel Eminem's song. And I mean, that's a song with Rihanna from like, what is it, 8 years, 9 years ago?
Yeah, that's important, of course. Yeah, sports events. That's also where you see like culture. Sports events have been
Yeah.
prioritized
Right?
over, which is really that makes me angry. It really makes me angry, and you just wonder, okay, where are you gonna make the money?
What's up, everyone? Today we are here with Savannah from the band Infinitas, and I'm really, really happy to see you and actually welcome on my channel, introduce you to everyone here because I listened to 2 songs by you guys. And before we start this interview, just have to tell you that you guys are very different. I like your music a lot.
Wow, thank you so much. That's nice to hear. Different can always be bad or good, so it's
Yeah, that's true, actually. No, but the first question that I had, of course, was before you introduce yourself, what is actually Infinitas stand for? What exactly does Infinitas mean?
Infinitas is basically infinity. That's kind of where it comes from. Yeah, looking to the endless possibilities of life, where we can go on to, where we as a band want to strive as musicians, music in general. Yeah.
That's really interesting. You know, and the other thing is before we start, I don't know if I maybe missed it somehow, but who is playing the bass?
We
That was
actually don't have a bass
because
player right now. Yeah, that's
all right. I was like, okay, maybe not in this one. Maybe he's sick. And then I was
yeah.
like, okay,
Trying
who
to
is
look
the
at
bass player?
yeah. No, we had a session bass player
Okay.
a year ago, and now we're looking for somebody again. We started doing with playbacks for our concerts, so we had
Mhm.
2 concerts before the whole lockdown came, and we did a bass playback with that. But that's definitely not what we always want to do. So we're open for bass players in case.
There you go, guys. You heard it. And because I was looking, I was like, where is this bass player? Because bass players sometimes they might be sitting next to the next to the drums. You
You
know,
have to go looking for them, right? They're
right,
just
right. I was like, all right. I was like, okay, this is getting out of control. It's gonna be my first question.
yeah.
You're looking right now for a bass player. That's good.
Yeah.
But it is hard with bass players, right? Because
It
sometimes
is.
they have their own personality.
Yeah, that's true. But I guess all musicians do.
That's true. With every artist that is featured on my channel, we always want to, you to actually introduce yourself, you as a person. When did you start playing? In your case, the violin, of course, because that's really interesting. But just in general, when did you decide to, what, I need to make music and not just as a hobby, but actually really create songs? When was that?
I think that was probably when I came out of school. I was only playing classical music, and then I was like, I've had enough. So I went into an Irish punk band, and that was like when I was 18, 19.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I really started to yeah, just explore different music genres outside of classical music. I mean, there's so many parallels also between metal and classical, which is really cool, which I love. But that's when I also decided, like, yeah, I really want to write my own songs, write my own pieces, like parts and stuff. um yeah, and started in different groups, not only metal, also folk or rock. Yeah, that was kind of
It's so
that.
interesting that you just brought it up because, on my channel, we talked about it a few times. I remember back in the day when I told people that actually metal and classical music really has a lot of similarities. People thought I'm crazy. Of course, the people who thought I'm crazy were the people who thought metal and rock were, it's just noise. And it's so bad, but it's so good that you actually said it because it's so true.
It is, yeah. I mean, it's crazy, just like the techniques that you can use, and also just how songs, the structures of songs. I mean, you also see like there are so many classical pieces that people have covered in metal. I mean, you just see it on that now. So it's
It's really funny. You probably know, of course, the band Nightwish, right? With
yeah.
right. I call Thomas the metal Mozart because this guy is just the metal Mozart, man. He is insane. What he is
Yeah,
capable of creating is just crazy.
it'd be amazing, crazy. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So, and your first instrument was, of course, then the violin, I suppose.
No, actually, it wasn't. So I wanted to play the violin when I was 4. Um, and then my parents were like, "No, okay, no, we're not doing this because
Four.
violin sounds horrible when you're when you're starting." And so my dad played guitar, so I started playing guitar. And then when I was 9, I could start. So I pushed on through, and I think everybody around kind of had to go through that phase of Yeah, this is not sounding good. I mean, the violin is just like something that, I mean, yeah, also when you're practicing, it doesn't sound good, but I feel like piano or guitar just it's faster until like it actually it's like, oh, okay, yeah, this sounds like something, and the violin it's just yeah. That's why it's good to like learn when you're a child because you don't. So
Yeah, I don't think I ever knew somebody who started playing the violin with 20 or 25 years old. I think it's normally when you're really young, right?
yeah, I think it's younger, but it's interesting now. Like during the whole COVID thing, I've seen a lot of older people or older, 20, 30s, whatever, um, start picking up instruments now, and they're like, okay, yeah, no, I want to learn this, and discover new hobbies. So it's definitely always, I think, possible to learn an instrument when you're older. It's just you have to kind of come over that, I don't know, that feeling of embarrassment when it's not sounding that great, or you have to practice in front of your neighbors or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, my first instrument was actually the trumpet.
Really? Oh, well,
Yeah, and
that's a
it,
loud one.
it was crazy because we always had to play the same song over and over again. It was "Oh, when the saints didn't" the whole time, and we were standing there. I remember exactly. Yeah, the teacher was like a guy. His name was Alexander or something like that from Ukraine, and he's like again, again. He looked like Super Mario, with a big mustache.
One more time.
Yeah, we were like, oh, or when the Saints. I probably still can play it, and for me, it was the same thing. I was like, okay, this is fun in games, but I don't know. I mean, it's not really exciting to me.
And you dropped the trumpet then, or was it
I actually
something?
took the trumpet and threw it away. No, actually,
Oh,
that was well, that was our first not official band, but that was our first school band. We had like the school project band, yeah. And then I was like, I asked this guy. I said, you know what, I need to change and take something else, otherwise I'm going to quit. And he's like, oh, what about the drums? And I was like, drums, interesting. And then I
sure.
started to play the drums. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool.
You know what's really interesting about your music? Now, I heard probably by now, probably like 500 different songs that are, of course, a mixture of metal and rock, and then, of course, classic and violin. But in your case, I need to be honest with you, in your case, what is really standing out is just the fact that, I mean, I just listened to 2 songs, but still, there are always a few transitions and bridges where I'm like, okay, this is new now, because the majority of the songs, again, that combine both elements are normally pure Celtic or pure folk, songs or mid-age songs. But in your case, there's maybe a Slayer riff or something in between. And I was like, this is getting out of control. I love it. Or yeah, or Judas Priest.
It's something I really enjoy because like the bands that I used to play in, it was this constant folk thing or this Irish thing where the violin just gets categorized into that, which
Exactly.
totally makes sense and is also really cool to play. But it's also just, a cool difference to play stuff that a guitar would play. And it really
Right.
harmonizes with yeah, when I play with our guitars, it's just I sometimes I feel like I'm a second guitar, or we can switch, or also that rhythmic kind of stuff. So it's not only the little fiddling stuff; it's really rhythmic stuff that, and he can do some whatever melodies on top. So that really makes it diverse, and I'm glad you heard that. That's cool.
No, for sure. I actually wrote exactly down that line because I was like, you know what? It's not just that you bring up, a few elements here, a few accents there. You actually really play throughout the whole song almost. So that's exactly like you just said.
Yeah,
You're almost a second guitar. That really stuck out. I was like, okay, this is definitely new. So that's amazing.
yeah. I'm always busy usually, so that's always cool.
Yeah, but that's
Yeah.
definitely something that makes you as a band, again, being a standout, because the other bands, and I thought the first band that came to my mind was actually Feuerschwanz.
Oh yeah.
But just
Yeah.
for a few seconds, I was like, okay, not anymore.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, there's always some. Yeah, we also fall into that kind of medieval kind of category sometimes. We also play at festivals, which is cool because we also have a whole concept in our album going, kind of evolves around a fantasy medieval story. So that kind of goes in there, but it's not all like that. We try to pretty diverse. Yeah.
Well, speaking about, crazy mid-age and mythology, you just released a song called Otuki. Utuki?
Otoki.
How do you pronounce?
Yeah.
Okay, Otuki.
Otoki, yeah.
And Otuki are actually the ghosts that normally bring death to the sailors, you said?
Yeah, it's a demon
It's a
basically that
demon. All right.
yeah, it's a demon. All our songs are a demon. So each song has a demon name. And this demon brings death or the plague to this captain. And that's what the song is about. It's a it's a part of a whole concept on our album. Um, I don't know if I should tell the whole story, but it's basically short. Long story short, we have this protagonist in our what was it last album, and his city gets demons come and destroy the whole city. He has to flee, and he's stranded on this island. And on this island, he finds this message in a bottle, and that's where the story kind of starts off in the video, where he finds this message in a bottle and he opens the letter, and that's those captain's last words, which you
Right.
can see in the
Right.
video. And he talks about these Utuki, these demons possessing him, and yeah, he gets super sick, and yeah, I'm not gonna spoil it.
Yeah, we can't say too much, guys, because I of course shot a review reaction video to that one, because that was, the best part is definitely the outtake part, at the end, because that was really cool, really interesting.
Cool, I really
And
like it.
right. And actually, you, or not you, but your singer was saying throughout the song, we are being attacked by these weird creatures.
Mm-hmm.
So of
Yeah,
course, I thought immediately, of COVID. Am I right?
yeah. So it's funny, when we wrote the song, COVID was not around at all,
Oh,
but
interesting.
we took this opportunity to make the video, record it, and yeah, I thought it would actually be a great song to kind of just raise questions about the whole COVID thing. What's the influence on all the artists, on the fans, just the whole culture scene in general. Also with that outtake,
Yeah.
we were really wondering, should we put it in there? Should we not? Is it controversial? We also had our differences in a band, but I'm glad that we ended up putting it in there, because now, I mean, otherwise we wouldn't be having this conversation either, right? So,
Right.
yeah, so it is kind of like a hint towards COVID, of course.
I agree. At these times right now, it's actually so risky to almost put anything out there that might be a bit controversial. I mean, right now
Exactly.
we're living in this. Right now, we're living in the cancel culture. I mean, they're about to cancel everything. So I don't know.
Yeah. You don't know what is happening
Yeah,
next.
I don't even know what's happening right now. I mean, they're trying right now to cancel Eminem's song, and I mean, that's a song with Rihanna from, like, what is it, 8 years, 9 years ago?
Mhm.
So what is going on? I mean, those are exactly the people right now trying to cancel everything. I
Actually
mean,
deleting or want to
exactly.
get rid of that song. Wow. I didn't even hear
Exactly.
that. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's completely
Um,
crazy right now. I mean, it's just ridiculous now. So yeah, but shout out to you, because I respect that you actually, kept it in the video, because that's definitely, guys, you have to make sure to watch that video, because especially the outtakes, of course, really, really interesting. And of course, you guys had a super front man of how do you pronounce it? Iluvite? I never know how to pronounce the band. Yeah, right.
it's always different. Like, I mean, we say
Every
elevate,
time,
but
yeah.
some Swiss people that say elevati. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, it's
Krigel from
yeah.
that band.
What?
How did that come? How did it come along, that collaboration with Krigel? You guys know each other?
The collaboration was on one of, like, another song from that album. We got to play, when was it? In their last album release, we got to play as a warm-up band for them.
Right.
And they're from Switzerland, so we basically contacted their booker, and they're like, yeah, sure, come on. And then that was, I think, my third concert with Infinitas, and I was like shaking, and because it's also just a big role model, LOAT and Kriegel, of course, too. Yeah, and that's how that kind of came about. We asked him if he wanted to feature on a song, and that was, yeah, he's a really cool guy, and it's amazing that we got to do that with him.
Yeah, it's sometimes it's funny. I remember the interview with Five Finger Death Punch. I think it was like 10 years ago or something, and they asked Rob Halford from Judas Priest, like, "Hey, would you mind being on one of our songs?" He's like, "Of course." They're like, "What's going on here?"
Yeah. It's really, you're kind of shy. You're like, oh, can we ask? Oh, I really want to and stuff. But and then it's easy. I mean, it's people. They're normal people. You can ask them. And it's really cool to see that.
Yeah, at the end of the day, there are still musicians, not everyone, but most of them. So of course they're gonna be like, yeah, let's do this. So it's always
Yeah,
interesting to see.
they want
I'm
to keep
glad,
it.
I'm glad for you that you were able to do that one. That's cool.
Oh, thank you.
But that of course leads me to the main question right now. How are you handling the situation as a band?
The obvious. um, so we sat together in January. We always have these yearly. We try and plan out the whole year.
Mhm.
So that's like marketing, finances, concerts, just everything. And we got together. It's like, yeah, how are we gonna plan this? Because you just can't. It's really difficult to plan. Um, and so we tried to, or we're trying to have our focuses now on different projects. Basically, um, the whole. I mean, you have to concentrate on other stuff. I mean, just the contact with fans, doing more videos, live videos, showing that we're working on new songs. Um, yeah, and we have this other side project which will be released sometime later this year. I won't talk that much about it, but it's something that we're also really looking forward to releasing. And yeah, it's difficult because you're trying. We have some concerts where people ask or bookers, and then but you're not always quite sure will it actually happen or not. And yeah, I mean, I think the next concert would be at Metal Days in Slovenia in July, but yeah, it's kind of open.
Yeah, I think they just canceled the whole festival season in June, right? Rock am Ring, Hurricane, all those
Yeah,
festivals are just
exactly. I saw
canceled.
that also here in Switzerland. Yeah, the
Yeah,
June is totally canceled, so I'm assuming July is canceled too. But
yeah.
there's always this shimmer of hope.
I know,
So
I know. Seriously, I'm still hoping for August or something because there's this festival. Well, of course, Wacken, but I mean actually the other one called Reload Festival. I don't know if you know that. It's around the corner here. And I've been there 2 years ago, and I was like, okay, another year not going there. I'm not gonna be able to handle that anymore. I have to go.
yeah,
So
like what should I do? Yeah, yeah, it's a difficult time, but I think if you just we're trying to concentrate on the other stuff that you can do, and I mean we can still do music as a band and try to keep that contact with fans and yeah, work with other bands. I mean, there's so much you can always do, but live concerts are just
right, right.
that
Yeah,
thing where we really love to do.
yeah, no, I totally agree with you. It's positive, it's negative, and of course a bit positive as well, because I just realized that so many bands are now actually creating new music. So this is for the first time, like, for instance, Metallica, Korn, Slipknot, the big bands. They're like, hold on a second. For the last 20, 25 years, we have never been at home for more than maybe 8 weeks at a time. So now they can focus on creating new material. So yes, it's going to be bad to again miss all those concerts, but I think by the end of this year we're going to hear a lot of new music, so at least something good.
Yeah, there's really I think a time where we can all just also sit back a little bit. I mean, there's not that much. So you have time and you're not stressed of writing music or
Right.
on the road writing music or usually. So that's definitely a plus.
Oh man, yeah, I mean we shouldn't talk about this because every time I talk about it, I get so sad. And but by the way, right here it's terrible again. I mean we have like 83 or 85. The infection rate is 85 per
Yeah.
100,000 people this week. It's getting out of control. I mean we're right in the third wave now.
I'm gotta be honest, I haven't looked at the numbers anymore because I'm just yeah.
Yeah, I
It's
just heard that. I just heard
it's
it. I don't
probably
look
about
at
the
all.
same.
No, it's interesting because as of lately, everybody that I talk to says the same. Nobody really cares anymore. They're like, okay, the
Yeah,
news. I mean, whatever.
yeah. I mean, you're gonna hear it from somebody anyway, so
Yeah,
I don't look. But thank you. You informed me now.
there you go. I mean, that's Germany. I don't know about Switzerland, but probably the
Yeah, we're
same.
pretty close. It's not borders aren't gonna I don't know block out a virus.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know that in the States right now, it's getting completely out of control. I mean, Florida doesn't really have any regulations anymore. Texas is completely, I think Texas just, I think they just passed a bill that concerts are back to full capacity now.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
concerts. Well, on one hand, I'm
more
like,
people
wow.
expected.
Right, concerts, and also, of course, American football, sports events.
Yeah, that's important, of course. Yeah, sports events. That's also where you see like culture. Sports events have been
Yeah.
prioritized
Right.
over, which is really that makes me angry. It really makes me angry, and you just wonder, okay, where are you going to make the money?
It's so weird. Right. I thought the same. Soccer is still on. Nothing happened. Like whatever happens, well, of course they can still play, no problem.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's a money thing, but now we're drifting away, but that's true.
Back to the music.
So, what are your plans for the future?
Plans for the future. Concerts. um, yeah, we're trying to find a new bass player. We have new songs coming up. We're really trying to, yeah, find ourselves as a band, I guess, as well. I mean, there's always times where you have to reconsider things, and um, yeah, it's difficult to say what are our plans now because, yeah,
I
right now
know.
it's songs
I
and
know.
marketing, and
Yeah.
and I mean, right now we'd actually be on a Europe tour with Bukovina.
Hmm.
Um, so that got postponed next year, I think. So that's a plan for the future, which
Right.
which is pretty exciting. I'm looking forward to that. That would be cool. But hope that will happen in next March. It
It has to happen. One more year.
has
Seriously,
to.
it has to happen.
But yeah, that's
Oh
what the
man.
future looks like, and I mean, we're looking forward to it. I mean, I think it's closer. It's closer than we think. We just all have to get together to to make this happen.
Who's actually the main songwriter in your band?
It's actually our guitarist.
Okay.
Guitar, yeah, he basically writes everything, including the violin parts.
Oh, really?
Um, yeah, I mean, I have my say, and we we do stuff together and stuff too. But it's mainly he's his mastermind of just hearing stuff. He dreams of stuff and he writes it down. And I have to say, it's really cool to play. And I can't be like, yeah, no, this is awesome. So yeah, it's there's this way of how we end up writing songs. He does it, then he looks at it with the drummer, then he'll look at it with me. So it's we have a special workflow, but it works well, and that's what matters.
So he also writes the lyrics?
No, sometimes
Okay.
he does.
Okay.
Sometimes the drummer does. Sometimes the singer does. That's kind of different. Yeah.
That's cool. That's really interesting. Even the drummer, I don't think I've ever, well, except I think, no, a drummer that played or that recorded or actually wrote lyrics. I don't think so. I never heard about that. That's interesting.
Yeah. No,
There you
he
go.
does. He's written some cool lyrics.
And by the way, I love the voice of your singer. The way she just sings. There are some parts where I'm like, it's almost, of course, it's serious, but it's sometimes even like it's funny. It's just cool. It's entertaining.
Okay. Okay.
The way she pronounces some words, it's just it's just cool. I like
Uh,
that.
well, I got to be honest. Our singer isn't with us anymore, actually. So we're looking for a new singer as well.
What's
That's
what's happening here?
what's happening. I was like, I didn't know if you had already like seen it or something. 'Cause it's been out for a while, but I didn't want to.
Well, next thing you know,
Yeah,
you're also leaving, right? No, right?
yeah. I'm done now. No,
All right, all
no.
right.
We're that's one of the projects as well. We're looking for new singers, and but I think we have some cool things coming up. I'm really excited. There's stuff on the horizon, but yeah, it's definitely something that, yeah. Oh, the singer's gone, and then I think a lot of people assume that, okay, that means the band is done, or I've had some reactions of that because it's like, oh, the band leader, and but which is no is the case, and so
It
that will
is it
definitely.
is very it is very very weird. I remember Nightwish, best example, when Tarja left, everyone was just, no, they lost their identity. And
Yeah.
after, yeah, but to a certain degree they did, because she was really unique. At the same time, when then of course Annette came and then Floor, I mean, that was a different beast. Floor is just like, that's next level in my opinion. Of course we shouldn't, open that can again. But yeah, I agree. A front man or front woman, if they are replaced at the beginning, it's always really interesting to see, because
Mhm.
people, I don't know what it is, but fans sometimes feel like they are being attacked personally. They're like, no, I'm not going to listen to you guys anymore. Like, this
Yeah.
is so weird. I never
It's weird
understood
because, like,
that.
the bass player, if they leave, you know, it's yeah, it's gonna be something totally different, but I'm excited for it, and we are as band. It's gonna be cool. It's gonna be cool.
Definitely. Well, I thumbs pressed for you guys. Here we go.
Thank you, thank you.
All right. Thank you for having me, having you, having
Well,
everyone
thank
here.
you for having me. It's so cool.
You know what? Maybe we should do a review together in a few weeks or something. That would be cool. I think a lot of
Yeah,
people would,
that'd be fun.
because I was just thinking right now, and this really just came to my mind, that I never really talked to a violin player before. And I react to so many songs with a violin player in them. So maybe it's cool to hear your take on some songs if you would like.
I've never done a review, but
There
yeah,
you
we could
go.
think about it. That would
I
be
think
cool.
I think that will be really cool.
That would be fun. Yeah, give that a thought. That'd be cool.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
There you goes, guys. Thank you. Make sure to check out Infinitas. And hopefully we're going to be able to tour again and you guys might catch them. All right. Bye-bye, guys.
Bye.